On a picture-perfect October evening, you are looking at a Tulski Field in Mishawaka. And in this picturesque setting in the Princess City, a little thing called the Holy War shall be played. St. Joe and Marian renew their rivalry tonight on the 46 Game of the Week. How you doing, everybody? Between my Hall of Fame partners, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us for what is always an exciting evening of football here on TV-46. Now, the St. Joe Indians have had their struggles this year. They come in with a record of 2-6, but Brian Whitton is convinced that his team has enough talent to compete tonight and compete in the 4A sectional coming up.
Well, that's been the focus for his team. You know, during the season, you're still qualified for the playoffs, so they've continued to teach, continued to coach, continue to be patient and trying to get through a lot of injuries. Now, they've played all 8 games this season. A lot of teams haven't. And he's got a quarterback in Matt Eck who can execute. He's got a wonderful running back and Asante Anglin who can light it up. So Marian's got to be ready for a good challenge because this could save the whole season, regular season, at least for the Indians. And we talked to Brian Whitton a moment ago, and he has that same focus.
Well, offensively, we've got to possess the ball, grind out first downs, and then finish our drives. That's the big thing from our offensive perspective. Obviously, we can't have turnovers as well. Contrasting defensively, we need to make sure that we get some turnovers. Marian's had a few weeks off. We're hoping they're going to be a little bit rusty. But we've also got to contain Begonia. I think it all starts with him. They've got talent all across the board on the offense, but it starts with him getting the ball to those playmakers. So we've got to contain him in limit any yards after contact.
Marian comes in with a record of 6-0. A bye and contact tracing have kept the Knights off the field for the last 3 weeks. But they come here tonight on this senior night with a lot to try to accomplish, Bob. Not only a share of the NIC divisional title, but they could have their first unbeaten regular season since 1999.
It's been a while, but this is a very good team, and we talk a lot about the offensive weapons. Certainly, Maddox Begonia Bright has been outstanding, and Malcolm Anderson is a terrific running back as well. Defensively, you always joke about teams having friendly linebackers that are slow. That's not the case here at Marian, and I tell you, the other thing they got going on defense is the fact that Michael Davidson, who you talked to just a moment ago, is a very good defensive coach, but he has a lot of respect tonight for St. Joe.
Too hyped, I don't know. I worry a little bit about it, especially with the weeks off. You got the Holy War, you got senior night, you got undefeated season on the line, you got championship on the line. So I don't think so, but I revert back to a couple of our big games this year and the way our kids have responded in big situations, and I expect them to do the same this week.
Bo Hunt works the sidelines again tonight, and Bo, I don't know, we've probably done about a dozen of these games over the years, and one thing we've learned is to expect the unexpected.
Yeah, when you get these two teams, I think one of the biggest things is it doesn't matter what the record is. We've come in here times where one of the teams has been a 2 or 3 point touchdown or 3 touchdown favorite, and the other team ends up winning because there's just so much contradiction between these two teams and so much contrast, especially in this game coming up tonight. Marian, undefeated, St. Joe trying to find their way at this point late in the season. But I think one of the biggest things going in is this is the Holy War. Sectionals are coming up. So these two teams have played quite a bit of games coming up to this point, and so they're getting ready for sectionals. So they should both be very fine-tuned to what they can do.
When these two teams get together, the collars are always a little tight, and that's just not the Priest either. We've got a lot to talk about on the Jordan Automotive pregame show, and that comes your way next on the 46 Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Intera Credit Union, Bills Heating, Jordan Automotive Group, TCU, Aegis Dental Group, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, and the IHSAA.
our sins. Let us all take the opportunity to place our trust in God our Father, and in prayer we ask for the healing of all division within our nation, and for an end to injustices and actions which have so harmed the dignity of the human person. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, the Father of all human persons, you have created all persons in your image and likeness, and in doing so have endowed us with an immeasurable dignity and worth. Please, we pray, look upon us with mercy, and grant us all pardon for the times that we have spoken or acted against each other and against you. Grant healing to our nation and open our hearts, so that we may see your path to forgiveness and reconciliation. May all injustices be wiped out, and through your grace, may peace, justice, and mercy, and all your marvelous gifts reign in our lives. We ask this in all humility, in the name of Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
And this edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by the Jordan Automotive Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Time now to look at our keys to win. Brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group as the captains meet at midfield. Let's talk first about the St. Joe Indians. They're led by a dynamic running back by the name of Asante Anglin. Anglin, a 5'9 senior, has rushed for 660 yards this year. Also has 311 yards receiving. And the guy that delivers him the football is senior quarterback Matt Eck, completing just under 50% of his passes this year. Eck has thrown for nearly 1,200 yards this season. Had big game against John Glenn where he threw for 252. The keys to win for the Indians.
Chuck, they've got to play a clean game. They can't give the Knights any help tonight with turnovers, with penalties. They really got to play it tight. They got to take their time, be really solid with a good pace on offense, and they got to avoid the big play. Marian can certainly hurt you in a hurry. Coach Brian Whitton now in his 5th season at St. Joe.
The Marian Knights are led by their quarterback, who is a dynamic two-way player by the name of Maddox Begonia Bright. And when we say two-way, it's because he can beat you with his legs, where he has run for 261 yards and 7 touchdowns, and his arm, where he's thrown for just shy of 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Mitchell Menning warmed up wearing number 93 tonight because that's the number his mom has in the closet for senior night. But then he switched to 64 so he can play both offensive and defensive line. 7 sacks on the season. The keys to win for the Knights, Bob.
Number one, they got to make tackles. They got to arrive there in a bad mood and wrap the guy up. They also have to erase bad habits with turnovers. They got to tighten it up at that time of the season. And they got to win the special teams. The field position could be key tonight. Michael Davidson now in his 3rd season at Marian.
Quickly, we'll take a look at the weather tonight. What a picturesque setting here in Mishawaka. 50 degrees, a gentle zephyr out of the southwest at 7, but a 25% chance of rain. This the 60th meeting between these two schools. St. Joe leads the all-time series 35-24. They first met in 1967. Last year, Marian won 41-zip.
Well, we got check the uniform. St. Joe in their white pants, white jerseys, white helmets. Marian in the blue pants, blue jerseys, and white helmets. And checking the lineups and the uniform brought to you by St. Andrew's Products. And here to call tonight's game, Chuck Freeby.
The kickoff fielded by St. Joe and returned to the 21-yard line. It looks like Walter Wesson was able to bring it back there for the Indians, and so that's where they'll start with Matt Eck at quarterback. St. Joe coming in with a record of 2-6, having fallen to Culver Academy last week by a count of 27-14. Eck, the senior quarterback in his 2nd year as a starter. He was the successor to Ashton Rushkowski, who led St. Joe to a sectional final a couple of years ago. Asante Anglin wears number 5. He stands next to Eck in the backfield. Rather unique formation here for the Indians, putting a couple of big fellas in the backfield. Eck throws to Anglin, and Anglin's got room to run. Look at him go. Asante Anglin tripped up at the 49-yard line. That's a 28-yard pickup and a first down for St. Joe. You'll get another look at it courtesy of Aegis Dental Group. And a beautiful screen pass to Anglin. He got some good blocking on the outside.
Boy, and I tell you what, he got it to the right guy because Anglin had a head of steam real quickly.
Brady Hoskins with the touchdown-saving tackle from the safety position. So 1st and 10 at the 49, and Immediately, St. Joe getting the ball in the hands of its best weapon. Alaniz and Wesson line up in power formation to the left. Eck's going to give it to Wesson on a pass, and Walter Wesson goes forward to the 49-yard line for a pickup of 2. It gives us a chance to meet the St. Joe offense, sponsored by Tom's Car Care. Alaniz put in the backfield this week. Walter Wesson moved out to flanker. Jacob Marscola's had some good games catching the ball at tight end. It's a veteran offensive line led by Michael Connery, the 3-year starter at guard. 2nd and 8 for the Indians after the pickup of 2 by Wesson. Eck 2 for 2 throwing the ball so far tonight. And he got Marian to jump offside with a hard count. Now the question is, did somebody flinch in that St. Joe backfield? And the answer is yes. Sean Jenkins is our official tonight, joined by Chris Mathis, Chad Davis, Aaron Kozik, and the legendary John Krzyzewski. Legendary in his own mind, but legendary nonetheless. So they march it back to the 46. It's 2nd and 13. Penalties have been a problem for St. Joe at times this year. Long count by Eck, play clock at 6. Eck, the right-hander, fires, and it's in and out of the hands of Walter Wesson. Wesson had to try to make a sliding catch, couldn't come up with it. Gives us time to meet the Marian defense. Along that front line, Mitchell Menning have a great year with 7 sacks. The linebacking core strong, led by Devin Stefanik. And then in that secondary, well, all kinds of talent back there, but Brady Hoskins, the junior safety, has 39 tackles so far this season. And you see Mitchell Menting in that number 64 that he switched into. That allows him to play on the offensive line. 3rd and 13, and look at St. Joe changing up formations here. 3 receivers to the right of Eck. Marian showing blitz, and here they come. And Eck dumps it out to Anglin on a screen again, but this time it's well covered by the Marian linebackers. Hoskins, the safety, had help from Gabe Kerr, who came up and made the stop. 4th down in a punting situation for the St. Joe Indians.
Pick up about 3 yards on the play, and 3 out of his first 4 passes are complete, Chuck. But after the 28-yard gain, just not enough to move it into another first down.
Jacob Deal averages 32 yards a punt. Greg Atkinson is a speedy return man. Deal hangs this one into the October Eve. It'll take a St. Joe roll and go dead at the 23-yard line, so that's a punt of 29 yards with no return. And Marian will take over 1st and 10 at its own 23. The Knights coming in here with a record of 6-0. They had a bye in week 7, originally scheduled to play a team from Ohio. That fell through. And then they were scheduled to play Elkhart last week at Rice Field, but an outbreak of COVID within the school caused contact tracing to be done for the athletes, and they had to sit that one out. So they are back and ready to go tonight. We're all grateful that we get another game in.
Well, every coach in the area said the same thing to us, Chuck, during the season, just hoping to get all the games in, or as many as they can, and been blessed to do that.
Malcolm Anderson gets to the outside. St. Joe wanted a flag, didn't get it, and Anderson picks up about 10 yards before Walter Wesson brings him down for a Marian first down, and we get a chance to meet this Marian offense. You just saw Mr. Anderson. He's joined by Michael Murphy in the backfield. Talented receiving corps headed up by Jason Johnson. The offensive line has been led by Trace Walter this year, the 6'5", 243-pound senior. 1st and 10 after a pickup of 11 for Anderson. Begonia Bright fires, and it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Jason Johnson. Walter Wesson took care of that, and Johnson slow to get up on the field. St. Joe defense is brought to us by our friends at Tom's Car Care. As the trainer will come out and tend to Johnson, we'll take a look here and see along that front line. Michael Connery gets the start tonight at defensive tackle. Maddox Terwacki, the leading tackler on the squad with 65 of them. In the backfield, you saw the big hit by Wesson. He's the star at cornerback, the senior.
Chuck, we have a new teammate with us tonight. That's the Lather and Fade Shops in Northern Indiana. 3 locations, including their newest one on the corner of Edison and 23.
Oh, that's in the old Armando's location.
It is. Armando's now located on LaSalle Street. Right across, they want to be closer to St. Joe High School's football stadium.
So Lather and Fade over at the corner of Edison and 23. We'll take a break with 8:41 to go here in the first quarter. St. Joe and Marian scoreless on 46. And this edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week is brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it because we live here too. Marian looking at a 2nd and 10 as we return. Jason Johnson able to leave under his own power. Maddox Begonia Bright in trouble in the backfield. Uses those legs to scramble. Cuts to the outside and finally goes down at the 42 after a pickup of 8. And that's what makes him so dangerous.
Almost the time, Chuck, when the defensive coordinator would say, please throw the ball. We got a chance to defend it because that's what we're trying to do. But when you run with it, especially a young man with this kind of talent, ability, quickness, it makes a big gain here of 8 yards.
A good tackle made that time for St. Joe by Quinn Boyer, who came up and made the hit on Begonia Bright. But now Marian looking at a 3rd and 2. Begonia Bright looks like he might be changing the play. Play clock at 5. Begonia Bright keeps it on a quarterback draw, and he's got the first down and more. Begonia Bright to the outside. Maddox Begonia Bright steps out of bounds. After a long gain for a first down, they say he stepped out at the 33. That's a pickup of 25 for the Marian quarterback. You get another look from Aegis Dental Group. And it's not like he had to break a lot of tackles to get to the outside. He just couldn't keep his feet in.
When he gets that leverage going, though, I tell you what, he knows how to maximize the angle he has, like right there. And just a sensational athlete.
Malcolm Anderson gets thrown down on that play. Coming up to make the tackle for St. Joe was Sam Brennan, the senior defensive tackle. And I don't know if Sam's on the wrestling team, but he sure looked like he's good for a tryout with the way he brought down Anderson on that play.
Anderson had 11 yards on his first carry, and he's now averaging 5.5 yards a carry.
2nd and 10. Line of scrimmage, the St. Joe 33. This Marian's first possession of the night. Begonia Bright rolls to his right, under pressure, eludes one tackler. Now decides to scramble, and Brennan makes another thud tackle up at the 31-yard line. Pickup of 2 for Begonia Bright, but he really got slammed down from behind.
It's one of the things that's happened, Chuck, in the last 3 weeks. Marian hasn't played, so Begonia Bright, like a lot of the players, haven't taken hits. But on the other hand, a couple of good hits will knock some of that rust off because it has been a while since they've seen action.
So now a passing situation for the Knights. 3rd and 8, critical down here for the St. Joe defense. You got to figure Marian is likely in 4-down territory here. Kyrell Franklin and Davion Taylor go wide to the left. Jason Johnson back in the game. But it's Malcolm Anderson on the pitch, and Anderson's got the first down. He thunders through a hole up to the 19-yard line. Big pickup of 12 for the Marian running back. Here's another look, and look at the blocking there by Jason Johnson as he was able to lock up the St. Joe defender and give Anderson room to run.
Good to see Johnson was able to get back in the ball game. He went down, had to be looked at by the trainer.
He's had a tough night. He even fell on the team entrance tonight.
No highlights on that one.
Well, we were going to keep him in witness protection, but sorry about that, Jason. 1st and 10. Here's Anderson trying to weave his way up the middle, runs over a tackler and takes it to the 14-yard line for a pickup of 5. Malcolm Anderson, strong young man, 5'11", 205, but he runs much bigger than that.
And nice moment tonight in the pregame when they're honoring the seniors. It's a moment of silence for his father who passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, during Malcolm's freshman year, and he made the request that there be a moment of silence, and that was honored. 2nd and 5. Begonia Bright wants to throw. Now in trouble, and down he goes. Michael Connery comes in and makes the sack. And Connery, who got moved into the starting lineup tonight, gets his 2nd sack of the season. You get another look from Aegis Dental Group.
A lot of quickness there for Connery. He had a little bit of help back there. But
3rd and 12 and a loss of 7 on the play. And again, 4-down territory more than likely here for the Knights. Although they've got to find kicker in Alec Markley.
See if they don't find another weapon here to use. Maybe Taylor on an end around.
Well, Begonia Bright wants to throw, fires a bullet, and it goes in and out of the hands of Jason Johnson. It'll be 4th down and decision time for Michael Davidson. The wind has died down quite a bit. It's not a factor right now if Davidson wanted to try the field goal, but it looks like he's going to go for the 1st down on 4th and 12 as you look at Brian Whitton over on the St. Joe sideline encouraging his defense.
St. Joe had the ball at the 21-yard line in their first possession. If they got it right now, it'd be about the same. So Marian's going to go for it here on 4th down.
3 receivers, but Begonia Bright flips it to Anderson. He managed to corral the pitch out, but nowhere close to the 1st down. St. Joe is held on downs, and they'll take over at their own 17. Only a 4-yard pickup for Anderson, and he needed 12 on the play. But, Bob, it looked like the timing of this play thrown off by the pitch out.
Well, and the quickness of St. Joe. I'll tell you what, on the perimeter, they're taking away the opportunities. They know where Marian wants to hit. They know where they want to set the mark to turn up field, and they're doing a good job of getting outside. And again, a sophomore, Quinn Boyer, comes up and makes the hit at the 16-yard line. So now St. Joe with its 2nd possession of the game with 4:17 left to go here in the 1st quarter. Eck will hand it off, and a nice hole that time, but look at the stick by Marian, who coming up and making the tackle for the Knights was Sete. Asante Anglin. And excuse me, it wasn't Sete, it was Esau Gonzalez who made the stick that time for the Knights. So Gonzalez playing here on senior night, Bob, coming up with a nice lick. Give him a gain of 6 yards in the play, and then he went backwards about 10 yards before he take it down hard.
2nd and 4 from the 22. Marian showing blitz, long count by Eck, high snap, he'll flip it forward to Wesson. That's a pass, and Walter Wesson takes it up to the 27-yard line. That'll be enough for an Indian 1st down.
Eck with the pass to Wesson.
So Wesson with his 2nd reception of the night. Walter Wesson now with 14 receptions on the year. They threw to him 4 times last week in the loss to CMA.
1st down for the Indians. 4 out of 5 passing tonight for 37 yards. For Eck, Chuck, they have not had a running play yet tonight.
Well, they did on the 1st down play, giving it to Anglin.
He did, you're right.
Now Eck looks to throw. Screen pass, throws it out to Anglin on the outside, and Trace Walter takes him down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2. 3rd time St. Joe's tried that play tonight. It looks like Marian has it sniffed out now.
I think these 2 teams have been doing a little scouting.
Well, especially when it comes to each other, yes.
No question about that. By the way, we want to thank the team from Chick-fil-A. They fed our crew tonight. If you're looking to join an extraordinary team, work hard, and have fun, then you may be the person to join the Chick-fil-A team. If you're looking for a job with competitive wages, complimentary meals, employee discounts, there are provided team member uniforms, and stop by the South Bend Chick-fil-A and ask for an application or go online at chickfil-a.com/South Bend. Chick-fil-A in South Bend, look forward to having you on their team. You did a nice job feeding our crew tonight. You can give them a call, 574-968-0351. That's 574-968-0351.
Asante Anglin with a nice 8-yard gain that time as he made a strong cutback, plowed forward to the 33, and it gives the Indians a very manageable 3rd and 3 here. So far, the part of the game plan where Brian Whitton talked about chewing up clock, Indians are doing that. Eck's been running the play clock down to about 5 on every one of these plays. And Eck takes the snap. Again, the flip to Wesson. Oh, did he get met? And met in a hurry. What a stick that time for Marian as Setefano Sete came up and laid the lumber to Walter Wesson for a loss on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Sete sticks him for a loss of 2, and Jacob Deal on to do the punting. Greg Atkinson waits back at his 37-yard line. Let's see if Deal can continue to kick it away from Atkinson. Low snap. Deal did a good job to go down and get it, but the punt's going to be a short one. It hits at the 46, takes an Indian roll to the Marian 43. A good field position here for the Knights after a 26-yard kick. So Marian with just its 2nd possession here with 38.1 seconds to go in the stanza.
Chuck, they had one of those tough possessions the first time. They went 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Got no points to show for it. Folks, your proud sponsor, Weaver Consultants Group, located in Granger, Indiana, wants to wish the Marian Knights good luck tonight. Check out Weaver Consultants Group on the web at wcgrp.com to see how they can identify solutions to help you achieve your business needs. That's Weaver Consultants Group.
By the way, our first quarter tonight has been brought to us by our friends at Marian University. It's Greg Atkinson on an end around. Atkinson gets to the outside. Atkinson couldn't quite keep his feet. He's tripped up at the 42-yard line, but he picks up a 1st down on a 15-yard pickup. So on the 1st down, it's 1st and 10 at the 42. It's Malcolm Anderson bobbing and weaving and trying to get to the outside, and does. And Anderson still on his feet to the 21-yard line. That's a pickup of 21 for the Marian running back. So Marian with St. Joe on his heels trying to take advantage and maybe get one more snap here in the first quarter. Lagonia Bright sets him at the line of scrimmage. Anderson tries to take it up the middle and can't hop out of the tackle. Picks up only a yard on that one as the first quarter comes to an end. The defenses have ruled so far here at Tulski Field. Michael Connery, a big sack there, and some big hits by the Knights as well. We're scoreless after 1 in what they call the Holy War on 46. And this edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Not too uncomfortable a night down on the sidelines tonight where Bo Hunt joins us. And Bo, I know it's not something running backs like to talk about, but that was a pretty hard-hitting first quarter. We'll have to come back for Bo's thoughts here in a moment. Got to check his mic real quick. Make sure it's working.
While we do that, we'll tell you about Christensen's Furniture, is their locally family-owned business serving Michiana since 1912. If you're looking for the perfect furniture for your home, Christensen Furniture has everything you need for bedrooms, dining rooms, living rooms, your home office, home theater, and much more. Christensen Furniture, where affordability meets style.
So, nothing game here, as Marian will be looking at a 2nd and 9 from the St. Joe 20-yard line. Knights got about that far on their last possession. In fact, they got it all the way down to the 17, but they weren't able to finish in the red zone. So now Maddox Begonia Bright calls the signals. St. Joe showing blitz. Begonia Bright throws, and we've got whistles blown, flags thrown. It'll be a 5-yard mark off against Marian for a procedure penalty.
At St. Joseph High School, we're building family. Every student receives a laptop to remain connected to the curriculum and to each other. Small groups meet weekly to provide emotional support and connection. Students pursue faith, formation, and our athletic programs foster teamwork, resilience, and a common bond. In person and online, we are a family. We're here for each other. We are St. Joe Strong. Visit stjoehigh.com, and our open house is on November 8th. Join our family today.
Maddox Begonia Bright weaving his way through the St. Joe defense all the way down to the 14-yard line, but illegal motion called against Marian, so this one coming back for another 5-yard penalty.
Boy, Marian had another opportunity to get down there and maybe get on the board, but the penalties are just nuisance penalties. But if St. Joe could get another stop here, number one, Chuck, at the end of the first quarter, 0-0 score. St. Joe got to be feeling pretty good about that.
Well, info to know coming to you from Ancilla College. This is one of the higher scoring offenses in the area, this Marian group. At 36.3, they only trail Elkhart and Fairfield among area teams in the scoring column, but kept off the board in the first quarter. We'll see if that continues as Begonia Bright fires, and the catch made by Greg Atkinson, still on his feet to the 17-yard line. Atkinson finally thundered down by Keegan Frick, the linebacker, and you'll get another look at it from Aegis Dental Group. Quick release that time by Begonia Bright as he got a window. And these Marian backs have been getting forward progress every time. That was a 13-yard pickup for Atkinson and sets up a 3rd and 6. Again, 4-down territory for the Knights.
First completion of the night.
Malcolm Anderson, big hole right side. Anderson to the 10-yard line. And St. Joe comes away with the football. Did they get it, or was Anderson down? He is ruled down.
Malcolm Anderson with the carry.
Maddox Tarwacki thought he was going the other way, but Anderson is ruled down at the 10-yard line for a gain of 7. We'll give you another look from Aegis Dental Group, and we'll see if you have anything definitive here. Watch Anderson, and still on his feet. Looks like he's down right there before the ball comes out.
Pretty good hit going on, though, by the St. Joe Indians.
So now, after that pickup of 7, Marian looking at 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. And Bo confirms from the sidelines that he was down. One back in the backfield, Caleb Lusanga, and again, movement along the line, but this time it's St. Joe. The Indians go half the distance to the 5.
Which is 5, ironically. Folks, for over 60 years, industry has relied on the great team at Imagineering Finishing Technologies. IFT is the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. The medical, automotive, defense, and aerospace challenges have built our legacy. Reach us at iftworldwide.com. At IFT, we'll work till you're finished correctly.
Caleb Lusanga trying to work his way to the end zone. He can't quite get there. He's stopped at the 2. So Lusanga with his first carry of the night, his 17th of the season. The junior picks up 3, and it'll be 2nd and goal from the 2. Now Michael Murphy checks into the game and brings the play in for Maddox Begonia.
Michael Davidson and company using some other talent on this possession.
And a timeout will be taken here by St. Joe. We'll take it as well. 9:54 to go in the first half. We're still scoreless between St. Joe and Marian on 46. This edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by Aegis Dental Group, trusted dentistry. Chuck Freeby, Bob England, Bo Hunt, black with you. Or I said black with you because it's a blackout on the other side for St. Joe. The students with the baby powder a la Jordan and LeBron and all the rest to use it. Marian looking at a 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. St. Joe trying to adjust its defense here. Malcolm Anderson checks back into the game for Marian. He was not in there before the timeout. And it's Anderson right up the middle for the touchdown. The touchdown sponsored by Christensen Furniture. Malcolm Anderson with his 10th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Knights strike first.
Well, they were able to capitalize that time. It was a 53-yard drive, but worried by a couple of penalties. St. Joe gave one of those back, and Marian's in the end zone.
And take a look at the nice crease that he had to run through. That offensive line really moving people out of the way that time. Tony Burke with a nice block to help free Anderson. So Markley and Associates sponsors the extra point by Alec Markley, who is 24 for 24 this season. The snap is good, the kick is up, and it is good. So 9:50 remains in the first half, and the Marian Knights have a 7-0 lead on the St. Joe Indians. And you'll get another look at the Anderson touchdown run. Coming right at you, you see Burke make that seal block there, as did Michael Murphy. And there was lots of room for Anderson to run.
2 minutes, 22 seconds on the drive for Marian. Went 53 yards and 7 plays for the score. Malcolm Anderson in from 2 yards out.
I thought they did a really good job at the end of the first quarter, Bob, getting St. Joe back on its heels in the last 50 seconds of the quarter when they took over on that drive and set the tempo of the drive right then.
Well, and they had only used 2 players in that first drive, and they used, I think, 5, 6 different players in that second drive and got on the scoreboard. And Marian on top 7-0, and St. Joe now pressed with the challenge of getting down the field and getting on the scoreboard. Special teams can be so big in a game like this. Let's see what the Indians have.
And Alec Markley, sponsored by Markley and Associates, will do the kicking right here. St. Joe back deep with Asante Anglin and Ty Canal. And this one, actually, Walter Wesson will take it back at the 1-yard line. Wesson looks for room to run. There is none. Terrific job by the Marian special teams to shut him down at the 15. We go downstairs to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report. What was the difference in that Marian drive, Bo?
I think one of the biggest things was they kept it on the ground. Those first drives or so, what they were trying to do is work the ball down the field in the air. And St. Joe did a great job on their defensive backs of really covering and giving their defensive line time to get to Begunia. I think on that drive there, they were able to sustain Malcolm Anderson up the middle. I think that's one of the biggest things they might stick to is working the middle a little bit more in this game, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Bo. So we'll see what St. Joe does from a deficit situation here, trailing 7-0. Maddock has had a pretty solid game at quarterback so far. Can he keep it up? Marian showing blitz, and the blitzing linebacker comes in and gets Asante Anglin from behind. That's Gavin Stefanik, the transfer from St. Joe, who makes the hit on Anglin. Stefanik celebrating his senior night. He is the leading tackler on this Marian defense this year. He had 78 stops last year. He's got 55 so far this season.
I'm going to say he had no gain on the play. Ball still marked down at about the 15-yard line.
St. Joe looking at the 2nd and 10. Again, bunching everybody in towards the middle. 9 men in the box for Marian. Eck takes a high snap and rolls. Looking for somebody to throw to. Fires, and it's almost intercepted. Broken up by Brady Hoskins, the safety. It'll be 3rd and 10. Hoskins almost had his first pick of the year. You'll get another look here from Aegis Dental Group. The receiver, Wesson, fell down, and that left Hoskins almost lonely.
Folks, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed many things in our world, but not the love, dedication, and commitment that the Marian High School faculty and staff have for providing a Catholic education rooted in the gospel message of Christ for each student. We invite you to learn more about how Marian students learn with humility, serve with compassion, and lead with integrity by visiting our website at marianhs.org for more information. Go Knights.
Walter Wesson on a screen pass gets the first down. A big 3rd and 10 conversion. Eck really did a great job keeping his poise there, understanding how the screen pass is supposed to work. You bring those linemen back towards you. It gives Wesson more room to run, and he took advantage for 11 yards, as you see from Aegis Dental Group.
7:09, 44 yards now for Eck here in the first half.
So 1st and 10 from the 26 for the Tribe.
Marian had 107 yards total offense in the first quarter. St. Joe 47.
St. Joe looking for a way that a big play can happen here. They give it to Anglin. He tries to make a cutback, but he gets corralled that time. It's Mitchell Menting that came in and made the stop. He got Anglin right around the upper body, and Menting that 6'2", 182-pound frame, but stronger than he looks.
Markley & Associates would like to give a special shout out to Marian senior players tonight. Best of luck to each of you in your future endeavors. They'd also like to thank our coaching staff, managers, Marian football team, and especially members of our Touchdown Club. Your investment in these athletes has been priceless. Go Knights from the folks at Markley & Associates.
Reminder, our football coverage continues next week as we begin the IHSAA tournament, and we'll start in the same sectional that St. Joe is in, sectional 18, as the New Prairie Cougars. Casey McKim has had a winning season there so far this year. In his first year at the helm at New Prairie, go down to the rock pile and take on a Plymouth team that will not have played for 4 weeks. So what will the Rockies look like? Glad to see John Barron back on the sidelines next week, too. It's New Prairie and Plymouth, Friday night at 11, Saturday morning at 9, and live on YouTube, Facebook, and the IHSA Champions Network at around 6:45.
John, one of our favorite guys, always does a great job down there. They've had a tough year this year at Plymouth, but again, he'll have his team ready for New Prairie as Casey McKim takes his team down there. First meeting between New Prairie and Plymouth.
And speaking of not having played in a while, here's a Marian team that hasn't played in 3 weeks. Maybe not as crisp as we're used to seeing them, but they are still competing for a division championship tonight. If Elkhart wins at New Prairie and Marian wins here, they split the NIC divisional title.
Well, it was unfortunate they couldn't play last week because both teams really wanted to. And who knows, maybe it's fitting that you have a split championship in the division. East-West or North-South, whichever one it is.
Whatever it's being called. Let's get you up to date with some other scores. Mishawaka is taking it to Northridge at Intera Field, 20-0 in the second quarter. Penn on top of Adams by a count of 20-0 at TCU School Field. Wawasee leads Goshen 16-7 in that contest. That is in the second quarter as well. And Warsaw on top of Concord 7-3 in the second. Here at 7-0 Marian, St. Joe looking at a 2nd and 9 from their own 27-yard line. High snap, and it's going to be Asante Anglin looking for running room. There's just not a lot of it there. Trace Walter comes over and makes the stop. Anglin might have been able to pick up a yard there, but Walter, one of the most improved players on this Marian team, although when we came to practice the other day, Bob, he was trying to fight off some migraines.
Well, you've got a lot of challenges. Both teams, every team in Northern Indiana with the illness and caution on the COVID-19 issue. But, yeah, he was working his way through the migraines. And good to see him back ready to play tonight.
3rd and 6 for the Indians. They converted a big 3rd and 10 a moment ago. Eck wants to throw. Has time, fires out in the flat. Walter Wesson makes the catch and a punishing hit at the 37. But that looks like enough for the first down for St. Joe, and it is. Esau Gonzalez got there just a little bit late as Wesson continues his big receiving night tonight for St. Joe.
52 yards passing now and 8 out of 10 for Eck tonight. Folks, Radiology Incorporated serves the imaging needs of Michiana with more board-certified subspecialty trained radiologists than any other group in our area. Radiology Incorporated is a proud sponsor of St. Joseph High School athletic programs and wishes the teams good luck in this weekend's games.
I know, given your year, you just don't like talking about doctors. Here's the pitch to Asante Anglin, and Gavin Stefanik will have none of it. Loss of 7 on the play.
The depth that Marian defense gets is impressive.
Stefanik, baseball player, and he hit a home run with this play. As he throws down Anglin and then gives a little double flex here on senior night.
Little pose.
They'll spot it at the 32, so only a loss of 6, but still 2nd and 16. Eight in the box this time for Marian, but they drop one back. Eck dropping back to throw, fires, and he threw it at the feet of his receiver as he wisely put it where nobody could get it and lives to play another down here on 3rd down.
Yeah, if he hung on that for another step, he was going to get hammered.
And you saw Menting on that play start in and then realize, oh, it's a screen, and have the presence of mind to back out of the play. That's a smart kid, and we'll show you at halftime how smart he is. Yeah. He's one of our TCU Student Athletes of the Week.
Big contingent here backing him up tonight, family and friends.
Even his godparents are here.
The 8th play of the drive here for St. Joe.
Wide formation. Eck winds up, lets her fly. There's nobody down there. I think he was expecting Walter Wesson to go on a fly route. Wesson ran more of a post. It'll be 4th down in a punting situation for Jacob Deal and the Indians.
At St. Andrews Products, your expectations become our standards. We have the finest promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and apparel. Our team handles all embroidery and screen printing in-house that guarantees you the quality and timely turnaround you need to meet your needs. At St. Andrews Products, our answer is always yes. Now, what's the question?
So Deal has had a couple of punts with no return tonight, but another low snap, and Deal has to just pooch this one out of there. And this one takes a Marian roll, and it'll be stopped at just on the St. Joe side of the midfield stripe. So only a 17-yard punt that time for Deal. And Marian takes over in St. Joe territory. Penalty was called against St. Joe, but it's declined because Marian's sitting with golden field position here.
Starting just about 3 yards or 4 yards closer than they did last time.
Actually, they'll put it right at the midfield stripe. So a 50-yard field for the Knights to navigate, already leading 7-0 with 5:13 to go before halftime. Maddox Begonia Bright at quarterback. Has had some shining moments tonight. But the Knights have been limited on their possessions by this St. Joe attack. Now Begonia Bright will pitch it to Malcolm Anderson. He's got a seam. Anderson with a great cut, and he goes down to the 32, a pickup of 18 on the play. Anderson having a big night running the football.
He certainly is, Chuck. He's got 88 yards already in the ball game. And he's done that on 10 carries, so 8.8 yards per carry. He's a big, strong, strapping guy. Boy, I tell you what, when he gets ahead of steam going, you got to have some courage just to reach in there and try to get him down.
The receivers have done a nice job blocking tonight for Marian. Now more flags, though, and I think this is going to be another false start on the Knights.
Tom's Car Care in South Bend offers complete car care, including a 10-minute oil change. Get your car or truck ready for cooler months. Call them today at 574-289-2121. Tom's Car Care is a proud supporter of high school sports. They say, go Indians.
Check in with Bo Hunt in a little bit here. I'm wondering if these procedure penalties by the Knights might be a result of not having played in the last 3 weeks.
Good point.
1st and 15. 2 receivers out to the top of your screen as you look at the Intera Credit Union scoreboard down at the bottom. And it's Bright riding Anderson. Bright kept it himself on a quarterback draw. Maddox Begonia Bright is off to the races, and that's a Marian touchdown.
They say that because it looked like there might have been a hit from behind down there close to the 5-yard line, but I don't see a flag.
A nice read that time by Maddox Begonia Bright. He got everything going to the right and then cut it back to the left, as you'll see from Aegis Dental Group. And some terrific blocks, one right there by Trace Walter and another one there by Greg Atkinson, and nobody could lay a glove on him.
Yeah, the St. Joe defender actually turned his back after being blocked by the Marian player, and that's why it looked like a clip.
Touchdown sponsored by Christensen Furniture. This extra point by Markley and Associates. That's up and good. 4:11 to go before halftime, and Marian raises the advantage to 14-0. And Bo, one play after, I want to talk to you about rust. Now I want to talk to you about a quarterback being able to make the read on that option, because it looks like Bright managed that perfectly.
Yeah, I think that was just a great job of really reading that and letting it play out. I mean, you saw how long he held that ball in Anderson's stomach before he pulled that out. It was just a great letting the play develop and not trying to force the play. And go back on your penalties. I mean, that's got to be one of the reasons why they've had so many false starts. And you got to expect it. They're not in sync yet. They haven't played live stuff for a few weeks. So that's going to happen. It's one of the things that is going to happen to a 17, 18-year-old kids out there that are not haven't played live in a few weeks.
All right. Thank you very much, Bo. His report sponsored by Bill's Heating. Kickoff here about to be sponsored by Markley and Associates.
Well, a minute and 2 seconds on that drive for Marian.
Well, the big play by Begonia Bright taking it all the way into the end zone. The big difference there, and now Marian has to find some sort of spark for its offense. They've been able to get 1 or 2 first downs, but they haven't been able to get the big hitter. Perhaps they can get something on special teams, although Marian had outstanding coverage last time. This one takes a roll, and Asante Anglin will take it at the 5. Anglin trying to get to the outside and does, but his momentum carries him out of bounds. And we'll see where they spot this one. It's going to be at about the 21-yard line, which I'm sure Marian is pleased with from a special team standpoint.
St. Joe started from the 21, started from their own 17. They started from their own 15 and now back to the 21. Marian, meanwhile, has had a start of a drive at midfield and another one at their own 47. So that's been a big factor. We talked about that in the pregame, how those special teams numbers can really have an effect.
Take a look at Michael Davidson, the Marian head coach, 26-7 in his 3rd season. But he admits the last 3 weeks have probably been the toughest 3 weeks of his coaching career. Maddox, the senior quarterback for St. Joe, looks over the defense and flips it ahead to Walter Wesson, and Marian has seen that play a time or two tonight. There's 4 blue jerseys around Wesson for no gain.
Goes the forward pass again.
Holds down the yards per completion, that's for sure, because Stefanik and company were there for the hit.
52 yards. 9 receptions for St. Joe tonight.
You see that White Dogs offensive line. They just have not been able to open up a lot of holes against this Marian defense. A Marian defense that, quite frankly, has not been as strong this year as they have been in several years. Play clock down to 2. Eck with a play action fake is going to heave it deep, and it's almost intercepted. Brady Hoskins has been close, but can't get one of those yet. And it's 3rd and 10, but the problem there for the Indians is the clock stops.
Yeah, you know, you're back in your own territory, and Marian could well have maybe used a timeout there had there been a run play or something, but didn't have to. And they could get the ball back at midfield if St. Joe doesn't convert here. Still over 3 minutes to go.
So Ack will bring the play in from the sidelines, but the play clock already down to 10. I wonder if Brian Whitton might consider a timeout here to try to make sure that they execute this properly. Nope, instead they're going to throw it out in the flat Here's Anglin, and he just can't spin away from enough people. Coming over to make the hit that time was Kyle Dennison, the defensive tackle. St. Joe not even close to a first down on that one. Only a pickup of 4. It'll be 4th down, and Deal comes on for another punt. Now let's face it, the long snapping's been a problem for St. Joe on these last 2 punts.
Marian getting ready to receive it inside the midfield stripe.
Atkinson hoping to finally get a chance to make a return. St. Joe player late getting out on the field. Play clock down to 2. They do get a clean snap this time, and Deal gets the punt out of there. It'll take a nice roll for him and be down to inside the 40 at the 39. Well, they'll mark it right at the 40. So a 35-yard punt, but Marian brought some heat that time, and they were almost able to block that punt. You see how close Deal was to having that one rejected.
2:18 left to go in the first half. Marian in good field position. Folks, I want to tell you that TCU understands the importance of growing your future. Whether you're growing your family, your square footage, or your business, TCU is here for you with financial solutions that will help you succeed. Visit tcunet.com to start growing your future today. They're federally insured by the NCUA. They're an equal opportunity housing lender.
Maddox Begonia Bright scored a touchdown the last time he touched the ball. Checking things out at the line of scrimmage. He has a full complement of timeouts remaining. Man in motion, and they'll give it to Jason Johnson, and Jason Johnson is cut down after a pickup of 9. Quinn Boyer with another stop for St. Joe, but Maddox Begonia Bright, we told you at the top, can hurt you with both the legs and the arm, and you can up that one touchdown total to 8 now. That's info to know coming to you from Ancilla College.
Second down and 1 for Marian.
Knights looking at 2nd and 1. Handoff goes to Malcolm Anderson. He's got the first down all the way down to the St. Joe 44-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play. 1st and 10, and the clock stops as they move the chains.
95 yards rushing in the first half for Anderson.
Caleb Lusaga comes onto the field, checking his wristband, taking Anderson's place.
65 yards rushing for Begonia Bright.
Here comes St. Joe on a blitz. Begonia Bright gets rid of it and throws it away as the pressure was coming that time from the Indians. Greg Atkinson, the intended receiver. But Cole Curzan was closing in that time on Maddox Begonia Bright.
You see a lot of pink on the players' uniforms tonight for Marian and St. Joe, and they're honoring Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you can take advantage of some wonderful opportunities to get some custom items made by the folks at St. Andrew's Products. They have hand sanitizers and masks and all kinds of things. Reach them at St. Andrew's Products.
2nd and 10 from the Indian 44. And a timeout is taken by Marian as they weren't happy with the formation that time that was put out there. We'll keep it right here.
The way to reach St. Andrew's Products is to reach them on the website at sales@standrewscorp.com.
Take a look at Brian Whitton over on the St. Joe sideline, a former Penn player. Then he went to Earlham, was a defensive coordinator for St. Joe before he wound up being the head coach, and was an assistant coach over at Elkhart Memorial for about 10 years before he came over to St. Joe. Was part of Phil Teagarden's staff over at Memorial. By the way, our second quarter tonight being brought to us by our friends at Marian University.
Marian High School students have many opportunities during their 4 years to take dual credit classes, those that count for both high school and college credit. The class of 2020 earned over 4,300 credits during their 4 years, and 95 students in that class received 15 credits or more. That's at least one college semester's worth of credits. The best part is that dual credit classes are offered at no additional cost to families. We invite you to learn more about our dual credit program by visiting our website. That's marianhs.org to discover the advantages of being a Knight.
Maddox Begonia Bright ran for 9, and then a personal foul will be called on Maddox Tarwacki to add 15 onto it. Tarwacki gives Begonia Bright, a pretty good shove from behind when he's well out of bounds by about 2 steps, and Begonia Bright might have sold it a little bit too.
He could have. 20 yards in penalties for St. Joe tonight. Marian with 15 yards in penalties.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20, and Marian still has 1:14 to play with here. Could really deliver a dagger here in the second quarter. St. Joe coming on a blitz, throw outside, Atkinson dropped it. Greg Atkinson wanted to take off. The only problem was he didn't have the football yet.
A real important part of a passing game is to have guys who can catch it. So far tonight, just 1 out of 5 for 13 yards for Begonia Bright. We know he could be better than that, but it is a little chilly. And again, Chuck, you bring it up that the 3 weeks off might affect the passing game as much as anything.
2nd and 10. Begonia Bright tries to cut back inside. He's still on his feet. He's down inside the 10 to the 9 for a 1st down. You talk about elusive, that would be the description on that play. Take a look at this. Dead in his sights, and 2 Indians whiff. And then Walter Wesson comes over to make the touchdown-saving tackle. Again, St. Joe on a blitz. Throw to the outside. It's intended for Michael Murphy, but it's incomplete. Clock stops with the incomplete pass with 49.2 left in the stanza.
Marian High School now with 195 yards rushing. 198 yards rushing here in the first half.
Well, St. Joe has been troubled by poor run defense this year. The Indians give up almost 259 yards a game on the ground, but even that's ahead of that pace. So it's 2nd and goal from the 9. And again, the blitz coming up the middle. They give it to Lusanga, and he is hit several times in the backfield, and finally Tarwacki takes him down. They'll spot it at the 17. And Marian wants to use a timeout here with 41.8 seconds to go in the half. You'll get another look from Aegis Dental Group at the swarming Indian defense.
Well, by the time he was down, you couldn't even see him with all the white jerseys.
And finally, Tarwacki was able to finish him off, had some help from Walter Wesson.
One of the few negative yardage plays for the Marian Knights tonight. But St. Joe, again, trying to stiff and trying to stay within a couple of scores.
Well, let's face it, this would be a huge stop for St. Joe. If you're down by 14 in this game at halftime, you try to collect yourself, make some adjustments offensively, and you've got a shot. You get down by 21, that's an awfully big hole to look at when you haven't really had much offensive success in the first half.
And against a team that can run the ball a lot in the second half and run the clock. And, Marian only had one full possession where they went 5 minutes and 3 seconds and didn't score. And then they had 3 plays at the end of the quarter. But St. Joe did a pretty good job of doing what they wanted, and that's controlling the pace a little bit and limiting what Marian could do.
I would keep my eye here on number 1, Greg Atkinson. But we shall see. 3rd and 17. Begonia Bright. Pump fakes. Now scrambles to the outside. Still on his feet. Headed towards the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown, Marian. What a play. And Maddox Begonia Bright says, keep feeding me. A 17-yard touchdown run. It's sponsored by Christensen Furniture. And you need to get another look at this one from Aegis Dental Group. There were all kinds of St. Joe bodies in the area, but none of them could get to him in time. And now, Markley and Associates sponsors Alec Markley's extra point. The snap is good, so's the hold, so's the kick. 33.6 seconds remain before the half. And Marian just laid a 21 spot on St. Joe in the second quarter.
And Maddox Begonia Bright, 102 yards and carries tonight. Again, the passing game hasn't been as prolific as maybe usual, but 8 carries for 102 yards.
He is as slippery as an eel.
Malcolm Anderson with 95 yards rushing, so the two have combined for almost 200 themselves. They got a nice 15-yard carry from Atkinson.
So a 21-0 Marian lead. And St. Joe will see if they can do anything with the final 33.6 seconds here of the first half.
Again, welcome to Lather and Fade, one of our new sponsors on our broadcast. We welcome them, and there are 3 locations in South Bend ready to serve you. Give them a call. Lather and Fade.
Alec Markley had to wait for the one thing that he was missing, a football. Kind of tough to kick off without it.
Well, I remember that story about Lee Corso at Indiana. Ran across the field to Bo Schembeckler, said, "Can we borrow your tee? We didn't think we'd have to kick off."
Here's a fair catch called by St. Joe. They'll make it at the 35-yard line, as Marian wanted to make sure there was no chance the Indians would get back in it with a big return. But now let's see what St. Joe tries to do with these last 34 seconds. If they can make something happen and get on the board here, they do have 3 timeouts remaining. Late first half, Wawasee leads Goshen 23-7. Late first half, it's now Mishawaka 28, Northridge 14. By the way, Justin Fisher with 4 touchdowns in the first half for the Cavemen.
It's a bunch.
Rochester leads Maconaquah 21-7 at the half. That would be a bit of an upset.
Go Zebras.
Southwood leading Tippecanoe Valley 28-0 at the half. Long count by Eck. He'll hand it off. Asante Anglin spins up the field for 6 yards. And it doesn't look like St. Joe's going to use any of its timeouts here. But they do go into a hurry-up.
Gain of 7.
And the clock now down to 12 seconds.
That would appear to be about it.
I'm not sure why you would even run the play at this point. But they do. And they give it to Asante Anglin, and he gets hit at the line of scrimmage, squirts forward for a first down, but the first half has come to an end here at Atulski Field in Mishawaka. Lots of happiness in the Princess City if you're a Marian fan. Couple of touchdowns by Maddox Begonia Bright. The Knights are up 21-0 at the break. Stick around. Our TCU Student Athletes of the Week are next on the 46 Game of the Week.
And welcome back to Bob Otulski Field here at Marian High School as we honor our Student Athletes of the Week. Brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. Well, as always, outstanding representatives of the schools are with us. Daniel Priest from St. Joseph High School and Mitchell Menting from Marian High School. I want to start off talking with Daniel. And Daniel, first of all, congratulations. You've had a great deal of success, not only during the regular season, but in the tournament. And just congratulations on your great run.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk about what it takes to get that done. I mean, you're playing tennis not just during the season, but all year working on your game.
That's correct.
How about the discipline it takes to get all that done?
Well, yeah, you know, I've packed my schedule with a lot of AP classes, so, like, I just have to – time management is a big it's really important for me to just stay on top of things, stay focused at practice, but also do well at school. So, yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job in the classroom as well, and you're involved in a couple of things at St. Joe as far as maybe mentoring toward a business direction.
Yeah. Economics is like my main probably interest, and over the past 2 years I've done an economics challenge called Euro Challenge, and that's basically just looking for solutions in the Euro economy to countries' problems, and that's really helped me realize my desire to learn more in economics and like pursue that in college. So yeah.
And your college choices are pretty impressive. You're thinking about maybe what, Princeton, Notre Dame?
Princeton and Notre Dame, yeah. Trying to walk on there for tennis, especially.
Well, you keep playing the way you're playing, you won't have to walk on. Somebody will come get you. But congratulations on your direction and your goals. And give a shout out to the people that have mattered in your life and helped you along.
Well, you know, my family, obviously, like my brother has been taking a big role in like coaching me, especially over the pandemic. And my teammates have been really helpful. They always cheer me on. They made me win my last 2 matches, honestly. I had to give it all to them. And every practice is just a blast with them. They help me find the best in myself, and I can help them achieve more higher goals as well.
Well, I'm going to do all I can for your tennis career and stay away from you. Try not to teach anything that I know. Daniel, congratulations on your success.
Thank you very much.
All right, Daniel Priest from St. Joseph High School, and with us from Marian High School is Mitchell Mending. And Mitchell's involved not only in football but basketball. And Mitchell, anytime you're a two-sport athlete, you're a busy guy as well. How do you handle that challenge?
Yeah, I got a lot of sports and stuff going on all the time. So with practices and film sessions and all of that, you got to learn to balance schoolwork and the basketball part of it. So sometimes social life comes second to all of that, and you just got to make sure because if you get those grades down, you can't be out here playing the sports you love. So I got to stay on top of all my things and balance it best I can.
Sometimes you like to lift a pizza and you got to lift weights. I mean, that's part of the deal. What else are you involved with at Marian High School?
I'm part of the student body. I'm the secretary/treasurer of the student government. So we have meetings and, are like the administration for the students and working with them best we can.
You got some pretty good ideas what you like to do for college, or at least where you want to go?
My main interest is Purdue. I want to go there and study engineering. I'm not sure which type of engineering yet, though. And I also want to try and walk onto their football team.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got some good size and some good experience going for you. We wish you all the best with that. Give a mention to the people that have really been behind you all the way.
Obviously, I couldn't do this without my mom or dad. They're my biggest inspirations. They're my biggest role models here, and they make sure I'm straight. When I'm all messed up, and anytime I need them, I can rely on them. So they've been a great backbone throughout me for all 18 years of my life.
See a lot of guys on the team tonight wearing some pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a really special time and a nice focus for the team tonight. Congratulations on your success. We wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Mitchell Mending from Marian High School and Daniel Priest from St. Joseph High School, our Student Athletes of the Week. Brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. We've got stats and highlights coming up in a moment, but how about a big hand for Mitchell Mending? Woo! He's got his fan club over here. We're back in a moment. Stay with us. This edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV-46 for 30 years.
Chuck Fraby, Bob Ningle, and Bo Hunt back with you at the half. It is 21-0 in favor of the Marian Knights as they lead the St. Joe Indians in the 60th renewal of this Catholic rivalry. Scoreboard would tell you all nights, scoreboard's not lying.
No, it isn't, Chuck, but early on, St. Joe did get a stop. Marian had the ball for 5 minutes and 3 seconds, weren't able to score, and you almost felt like there was some momentum, but not much offense for the Indians at that point. And then the Marian Knights got going and gave us some first-half highlights.
Well, after a scoreless first quarter, let's show you how it got to be this way in the second quarter. Malcolm Anderson capped a nice drive for Marian with a 2-yard touchdown run to get him on the board, but after that, it was all Maddox Begonia Bright. Take a look at this one. The Dennis Savard spinorama right there. I think you hit the red button on the Xbox controller for that. He takes it on in for the score. That made it 14-0. Begonia Bright shows another Harry Houdini act here as he escapes 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys and goes on into the end zone on a 3rd and goal from the 17. Backbreak for St. Joe. And total dominance on the stat line.
Well, especially in the running game, just 20 yards rushing for St. Joe in the first half. Marian over 200 yards, and 4 different players contributed to that. Didn't do a whole lot passing. Had most of St. Joe's defense did a nice job, but Marian dropped some balls thrown by Maddox Begonia Bright. And the time of possession, a little surprising. It actually favors St. Joe, but it's because Marian didn't use a whole lot of plays for their second 2 touchdowns.
You see on that board at the top, Marian ranked number 2. I think you can understand why. They're up 21-0 at the half. We'll have second half play-by-play after this. And for those of you following us on the live stream tonight, we'll give you some scores from around the area in just a moment. You're watching the 46 Game of the Week. Let's get you up to date on some scores from around the area. First of all, we can tell you in the NIC, Penn leads South Bend Adams by a count of 26-0. Big game in the Hoosier North Conference tonight. Pioneer is on top of North Judson by a count of 8-0. Halftime at Sharp Stadium. Jimtown on top of Riley, 21-0. They have not quite gotten to the half yet over at Intera Field, and it is Mishawaka leading Northridge by a count of 28-14. Elkhart and New Prairie had a little bit of a late start, but the Lions just got on the board. They lead it 7-0 in the first. We can update that Penn score now. They are up 34-7 on Adams at the half. Some other games. As we take a look at Tippecanoe Valley, they're playing for the Three Rivers title tonight against Southwood. It has been all Southwood so far. Southwood leads it by a count of 28-0. And a little bit of a surprise is Rochester has jumped out on a lead at Mechaniqua, and Washington leads Glenn at the half by a count of 21-7. So those are some scores from around the area. Here it's 21-0 Marian on top of St. Joe. We rejoin you on the live stream in just a few minutes. Thanks for being with us tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and the IHSAA Champions Network. This edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. We go downstairs for a Bills Heating sideline report. I can see from here that beautiful St. Andrews red stocking cap bow hunt. Give us a little bit of a weather update.
Well, it dropped a little bit, as you can see the red caps on, and also the rain's coming down a little bit as well. So it's starting to precipitate a little bit out here, come down from the clouds a little bit. We'll see if that hinders anything here in the second half. I did want to point out, I did see Anderson on the sideline there late in that first half, really stretching that left leg a little bit, like he was cramping up a little bit. I think that's one of those things of being off for a few weeks. That's going to have an effect of your conditioning as well, guys.
Absolutely, and that was a concern for Michael Davidson coming into this one, Bob. We went to practice on Tuesday, but the contact tracing of last week still had an impact this week in that they were limited in practices.
And it really is, you're limited in what you can do in practice anyway, as far as how much contact you can have, that type of thing. But really, you wouldn't have the answers to those questions until tonight in that first quarter when they didn't score. It kind of might have raised a little bit of suspicion about how good it was going to go, but they put it together in that second quarter with 21 points, and they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
Jacob Deal does the kicking for the St. Joe Indians.
Jacob Deal, kickoff for the Indians.
Greg Atkinson, the main return man for Marian, but he is over on the far side and not the deep man. And we wait for the official signal. We have it. Deal on approach. Toe meets leather, and the second half is underway from Atulski Field. It's Atkinson from the 11, looking to get to the right side. He's running north-south on an east-west field. Finally, Atkinson dodged enough tacklers and took it up to the 25-yard line before he was spun out of bounds by Ty Kamau.
St. Joe did a pretty good job of coverage there, but he still is able to get out to pretty good field position.
So the 25-yard line is where this drive will start from. Maddox Begonia Bright, a solid first half of rushing, although he was not the best running quarterback in Michiana in the first half this week, because Justin Fisher at Mishawaka has 4 touchdowns and 223 yards rushing in the first half for the Cavemen against Northridge.
Who does he think he is? Chase Claypool?
He had a pretty nice week last week, didn't he?
Did he ever?
So here's Begonia Bright putting Atkinson in motion, but he gives to Malcolm Anderson on a counter, and look out. Anderson is off to the races, and they're not gonna get him. Touchdown, Marian, 75 yards, no flags.
$75 yards in one play. Oh, you didn't want to drive?
It looked like one of the counter plays Notre Dame ran last week against Florida State. And Anderson barely got touched right there, and that was it. Ty Kamau couldn't reach him, and Anderson took it to the house on senior night. Touchdown sponsored by Christensen Furniture. Markley and Associates sponsors the extra point. Alec Markley's kick misses for the first time this season. And it is 27-0 Marian with 11:38 to go in the third quarter. Ryan Whitton and the Indians have some work to do when we come back on 46. This edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. So it is 27-0 in favor of Marian. They have had some electrifying plays tonight. We'll show you one of them in our Electrical Workers Local 153 electrifying play in our postgame show tonight.
Well, that 22-second possession by Marian just about evened up the time of possession for the ball game.
Markley and Associates sponsors the Alec Markley Kickoff. And this is a squib kick that'll be taken by St. Joe at the 12. Asante Anglin looks for some running room. There is not much there against the Marian special teams tonight as Michael Murphy makes the stop. But one more time looking at the Anderson touchdown, Bob. And what a great job of blocking. There were a lot of pancakes served up there. And Kyrell Franklin keeping Ty Kamau occupied enough for Anderson to get downfield.
Well, some of the St. Joe players, defenders, had what they thought was an angle, and all of a sudden the rocket exploded and off he goes.
The rushing yardage total now for Marian has to be over about 300 yards.
Just a little over 300 yards so far.
So 1st and 10 from the 21 for Matt Eck and the Indians.
Third time they've started at the 21, and that's been their best field position.
It's Walter Wesson on a counter play, but this one doesn't quite go as well as Anderson's did. Wesson picks up about 4 on the play before Mitchell Menting is able to bring him down. Wesson, a young man that was baptized on the Feast of St. Joseph a couple of years ago by Bishop Kevin Rhodes.
2nd and 6 for St. Joe.
Wasn't a baptism of fire, but tonight is sort of going that way.
2nd and 6 here for the Indians. Eck had a decent first half throwing the football completion percentage-wise, but wasn't able to throw for a bunch of yards. Hit Anglin with about a 25-yard screen pass on the first play of the game, and since then it's been quiet. Here's Anglin again, trying to go to the outside, but only able to pick up 2.
Anglin with the carry.
And info you should know from Ancilla College tells you that St. Joe's Asante Anglin came into this game just shy of 1,000 total yards for the year, 660 rushing, 311 receiving, and with his yardage tonight, I'm sure he's over 1,000 for the season.
He got 22 yards on 10 carries so far tonight.
But has some receiving yards in there, too.
He does have some receiving yards, no question about that. That little shovel pass was a popular item for St. Joe early on. They need one right here.
3rd and 4. Stefanik coming on the blitz, but they went the other way. Walter Wesson trying to get the first down, but too many Marian bodies there. He stopped at the 28-yard line, about 3 yards short of the sticks. Marian trying to say they've got the football, but play was whistled dead, and the punting unit will come out for St. Joe.
Folks, Markley and Associates would like to give a special shout out to Marian senior players tonight. Best of luck to each of you in your future endeavors. They'd also like to thank our coaching staff, the managers at Marian's football team, and especially the members of the Touchdown Club. Your investment in these athletes is priceless. Go Knights!
We thank them for their sponsorship of tonight's game. On 4th and 2, Deal drops the snap. Again, has to hurry the kick, and it's going to take a roll. It goes into Marian territory to the 46-yard line, so a 26-yard punt with no return. And I remind you, our third quarter is brought to you by Marian University. You get another look at the kick from Aegis Dental Group here, Bob. And because Deal had problems with the snap, this one was almost blocked.
Well, Marian has 0 punt return yardage tonight. They haven't had an opportunity to return one, but they still had pretty good field position. They do right now.
And the Marian offense, which couldn't quite finish its first possession of the night, I don't think has been stopped on any possession since.
No, they have not. They only had 4 possessions in the first half, scored on 3 of them.
And then scored on their only possession of this half. In fact, their only play of this half. Now Caleb Lusanga tries to carry, and he's maybe able to squeeze out a yard. A lot of St. Joe jerseys over there on defense to make the stop on Lusanga. That includes Nick Balmaras, a freshman defensive lineman.
Lusanga, 3 carries, 6 yards so far tonight.
Give him a yard on that one. It's 2nd and 9.
Sure, Michael Davidson will be trying to work in some additional players.
Begonia Bright staggers his way into St. Joe territory to the 48-yard line. Pick up a 5. I would agree with you, but the 3-week layoff may also make him want to play his regulars a little bit more than he normally would in this circumstance, simply because they haven't played in 3 weeks. Man in motion, and the handoff goes to Davion Taylor, and he's got some wheels, tripped up at the 39, but he gets the first down. First time we've called his name on a possession tonight. That was his 4th carry of the year, and he almost took it to the house.
First carry of the night gets him 9 yards.
And we've got an injured Indian down on the field with 7:47 to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's Cole Curzan.
We want to thank the folks from Chick-fil-A for feeding our crew tonight. Folks, if you're looking to join an extraordinary team, work hard and have fun, then you may be just the person to join the Chick-fil-A team. If you're looking for a job with competitive wages, complimentary meals, employee discounts, and provided team member uniforms, then stop into the South Bend Chick-fil-A and ask for an application, or go online at chickfil-a.com/South Bend. Chick-fil-A in South Bend looks forward to having you on their team. You can also call them at 574-968-0351. That's 574-968-0351.
Well, let's look ahead for these two teams, Bob. And yes, it looks dire for St. Joe tonight. They're going to probably go to 2-7. But you look at their draw in that 4A Sectional 18. They open at Clay, which has only won 1 game this year. And then they face the winner of the Riley-Logansport game. St. Joe, you can make a legitimate case for them getting to the sectional final in that sectional.
No question about it. And again, it's a team that has some definite tools. They've got some quickness on defense, and they're continuing to try to get healthier. They've got some people out with injuries, and if they can be, that's 3 weeks from now, a sectional championship game. Who knows? Not only could they get there, they could win it.
Meanwhile, Marian opens with Lakeland here at Atulski Field next week, and then they would have to play the winner of the Washington-Tippecanoe Valley game. They are a prohibitive favorite in their sectional. Here's a throw to Davion Taylor. Look at him go. Great block from Kyrell Franklin, and it's another Marian touchdown. I mean, Kyrell Franklin had his man all locked up down there on the outside, and Taylor was unstoppable on his way to his 4th touchdown of the season. It's sponsored by Christensen Furniture. You get another look from Aegis Dental Group. He beat one man on the outside. Franklin took care of the other, and nothing but green grass in front of him.
First completes to the second half, second of the ball game.
Alec Markley on to try the extra point, sponsored by Markley and Associates. Snap and hold are good, so's the kick. And with 7:23 to go in the 3rd quarter, this night is all about the Knights. They have reason to celebrate on senior night. They're up 34-0 on their arch rivals on the 46 game of the week. This edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it because we live here too. There you see the press box here at Atulski Field. Bob Nagel waving to you way down there at the left lower end. This was built right around the turn of the century. No, I'm serious. The turn of the 20th to the 21st century.
Sounded so old.
The kickoff by Alec Markley, sponsored by Markley and Associates. High end over end kick. It'll hit and be fielded by Ty Kamau back at the 9. Kamau brings it up to about the 30-yard line, and that'll be some of the best field position that St. Joe has enjoyed tonight. Now we'll see if they can do something with it. Trailing 34-0.
I was just going to say, Chuck, the Marian Knights, the field position is always so important. They've started at midfield. They've started at their own 40. They've started at their own 46. And they've also started at their own 49-yard line. So they've had field position opportunities. They've scored 5 times, and they've only had to go about 50, 60 yards each time. So it's been a big advantage for the Knights.
By the way, fourth quarter, Fairfield leading Churubusco 18-6. Falcons looking for their first undefeated season in the regular season since 2008. Matt Eck at quarterback here for St. Joe. Hands it off to Asante Anglin. Trace Walter smothers him, and he had help. Walter, go ahead.
Your proud sponsor, Weaver Consultants Group, located in Granger, Indiana, wants to wish the Marian Knights good luck tonight. Check out Weaver Consultants Group on the web at wcgrp.com. That's to see how they can identify solutions to help you achieve your business needs. That's Weaver Consultants Group.
So it's 2nd and 11 here after the Walter stop for a loss of 1. Eck hands it off to Asante Anglin. He's got a little room to run, but not much, as the tackle was made over there at the 35-yard line. There is no 77 on our roster here for Marian tonight.
Back in the day, that would be John Thunder Thornton, one of the defensive tackles on one of those great Marian teams back in the early 70s.
Well, the 34 on the back of the helmet tells me that's Stefano Sette. My guess is something happened to his uniform in the first half. Maybe a spot of blood on it or something like that, and he had to change uniforms at halftime.
Well, maybe he's going to bump into that offensive line if he gets a chance. A lot of changes.
3rd and 5. And it's Eck throwing on the screen pass. He wanted to lob it out to Asante Anglin, but he threw it too far. 4th down, and again, St. Joe will have to punt it away. And Michael Davidson has to be pleased with what he's seen from his defense here tonight. He'd love to get back-to-back shutouts against the arch rivals.
Yeah, that would make 5 weeks they haven't given up a point. So you have 3 weeks off.
Jacob Deal to do the punting. Greg Atkinson and Gabe Kerr back deep for Marian. And problems on the snap. False start will be called against St. Joe. That'll cost the Indians 5.
25 yards in penalties for the Indians tonight. Folks, Christensen Furniture is a locally owned family business serving in the Michiana area since 1912. If you're looking for the perfect furniture for your home, Christensen Furniture has everything you need for bedrooms, dining rooms, living rooms, your home office, your home theater, and much more.
Block punt. They finally blocked the punt. They had been close a couple of times. Marian able to get in and block that one, and they stop it at the 30. And you'll see it again thanks to Aegis Dental Group, as the Deal punt is swatted down that time by Drew Geiger. And the big junior reaching in there to block that one, and he sets up Marian again in St. Joe territory.
Once again, Christensen Furniture is where affordability beats style. Christensen Furniture, family owned. They've got a young
Sorry
player.
about that, John.
Yeah,
You know?
John, Jack, everybody, and they've got a son that's on the list tonight, out with being careful.
Maddox Begonia Bright to Kyrell Franklin. Touchdown, Marian. 30-yard touchdown. Franklin, after doing all kinds of blocking tonight, gets a reward. And Marian has put a 40 spot on the board. Franklin was locked up with Jacob Deal, but Deal couldn't get turned around. A good back shoulder throw to Kyrell Franklin. And the route is on officially here at Atulski Field.
3 completions, 82 yards. A couple of touchdowns for Maddox Begonia Bright.
Mark Lee and Associates sponsors the extra point. It is up and good. And with a running clock now sitting at 5 minutes to go, third quarter, Marian has taken a 41-0 lead on St. Joe for the second straight year on 46. And this edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free. Kickoff to be sponsored by Markley & Associates, and we'll have a running clock the rest of the way. We'll go downstairs to Bo Hunt for a Bills Heating sideline report here after the kickoff, because I want to get some thoughts from Bo on just how impressed he is with Maddox Begonia Bright tonight at quarterback for the Marian Knights. But first, the Alec Markley kickoff. He'll send this one deep and hurtling down to Asante Anglin at the 2-yard line. Anglin up to the 22, but Bo, your thoughts on Begonia Bright tonight?
Well, I saw it last time we were here as well, him and Malcolm Anderson. I mean, what can go wrong when you got a combination like that? Oh, yeah, they got a great defense as well, and they got weapons out at wide receivers. I mean, they got the total package. And what I like about Maddox is his ability not only to run the ball and use his legs, but he can throw the ball as well. You saw the touch that he threw on that last pass. He threw the out pass for the first touchdown, or little kind of a screen pass for that first touchdown, and then that long fade route there for that last touchdown. Just a great touch on the ball as well, and his ability to run the ball and throw the ball makes him that dual threat, guys.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Asante Anglin running the wrong way, and it's a loss of 5. He gets smothered down there by Mitchell Menting, making the stop. Menting, who had 7 sacks on the season coming in, may not have picked up a sack tonight, but he's making his presence felt.
Took one of the amazing numbers, just went back and reviewed it. We didn't have the first downs on our halftime stat sheet. St. Joe with 3 first downs on the night. Marian with 17.
By the way, that is the 11th tackle for loss for Mitchell Menting this season. So he's having himself a year at defensive end.
St. Joe got a big sack in that first drive by Marian. The 7-yard loss that kept Marian out of the end zone.
Here's the move up the field for St. Joe, and the Marian defense able to make the stop at about the original line of scrimmage back at the 23-yard line, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Some other scores: Rochester leading Mechaniqua. That is now a 21-14 game in the 3rd quarter. And we've got Elkhart still only with a 7-0 lead on New Prairie, despite 245 yards passing from Cam Wiltfong in the first half. Southwood now on top of Tippecanoe Valley, 32-0 in the 4th. It's 3rd and 11. Eck throws, Anglin catches. Anglin with some room to run, and he's got himself close to the first down marker. In fact, I think he'll have it up at the 33-yard line.
Game 12.
72 yards passing now, and 10 out of 16 on the night.
And in fact, it is signaled a first down for St. Joe.
Folks, this broadcast brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technology, saluting the players, coaches, and all the team members who work so hard to be successful. At IFT, we put our team to work for you, setting the standard for metal finishing solutions. Reach us at iftworldwide.com. Like the teams in this game, they're working toward a great finish.
Asante Anglin on the run again, cuts it to the outside. Let's see where he stepped out of bounds. They'll spot it at the 38. That's a pickup of 4 for the speedy St. Joe senior. Runs a 4.440. Great member of the track team for Mike McCarthy, where he's a sprinter and a long jumper. Buchanan leads Niles now, 19-0 up in Michigan. That game in the 3rd quarter. Vicksburg rolling to Wajak tonight, 33-0. 2nd and 6. It'll be Anglin again, running up the middle. Anglin gets another first down up to the 45-yard line. And the clock continues to tick, under a minute to go here in the 3rd.
Marian's defense got that block punt. That was kind of another highlight to the night. But now the Indians are able to pick up some yardage and trying to tighten that up a little bit more.
St. Joe likely to get one more playoff here before the third quarter comes to an end. Maddock awaits the snap from Aaron Grieve, and it's Anglin taking it up to the 46-yard line. Michael Murphy with the tackle. Pickup of 2 on the play. And that is going to do it for the third quarter here at Atulski Field in Mishawaka. Emotions always run high when these two schools get together, but it's all been the emotion of Marian tonight because they've been putting all the points on the scoreboard, leading 41-0 after 3 on 46. This edition of the TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by our friends at TCU. Grow your future, visit tcunet.com. For our Bills Heating Sideline Report, we give Bo Hunt this very difficult question. How far does Marian go in the 3A tournament? They've gone to the semi-state last year, and I'll tell you, partner, it's tough to look at their draw and not think they may wind up there again.
I have a good bet that they will. I mean, a lot of people believe this is a team that can win a state championship, but there's a team they played last year that's standing in their way, and I know that that's on their mind, and that's something that's in the back of their head. If they can get to that point and get there again this year, hopefully they've been preparing for it, and I believe they have throughout the year and throughout the summer and looking at that game in the future.
Mitchell Menting just smothering Asante Anglin there for a loss of 5 on the play. Bishop Chittard had its game canceled tonight because of COVID downstate. I just wonder if they might be sneaking a peek. I realize that could be presumptive for them because their tournament road is a little tougher than Marian's. They've got West Lafayette in their sectional.
They do.
But you just wonder if they might be sneaking a peek tonight.
You think so? You think they're watching the game tonight? Hey, want to welcome everybody from Indianapolis. Yeah.
Now, don't talk like that. We'll be off the air. 3rd and 12. It's Asante Anglin trying to turn the corner there. Esau Gonzalez takes him down at the 46-yard line. Pickup of 5 on the play, but punting time for the Indians once again.
Folks, Radiology Incorporated serves the imaging needs of Michiana with more board-certified, subspecialty trained radiologists than any other group in our area. Radiology Incorporated is a proud sponsor of St. Joseph High School athletic programs, and they wish the team good luck this weekend and the rest of the season.
So another low snap. Deal able to get it out of there. Greg Atkinson will take it at the 25. Look out, folks. He's electric. Look at the speed of Atkinson. There's a flag on the play. There's going to be a blocking foul, and this one's going to come on back.
Boy, and there was a real good block there at the end of the run, too.
St. Joe player is down at the 33-yard line, and we'll see the blocking foul here on the Aegis Dental replay. It was where 12, Michael Murphy landed on the back of the St. Joe player. And that crackback block, a personal foul called against Marian, will bring it all the way back to the 18-yard line. Yeah. And that's the block right there. That was called a personal foul.
Chuck, that was going to be the first positive punt return yardage for Marian tonight, and it's going to get dragged back to their own territory. While we've got a break, want to thank St. Andrews Products for helping our crew look good tonight. They're ready to do the same for your team. Reach them at sales@standrewsproducts.com with all the top lines in apparel, business gifts, and advertising specialties. They're ready to help you with your school or company. At St. Andrews Products, the answer is always yes. Now, what's the question? Again, you can reach us at St. Andrews Products
And they've got some great Christmas items, as well as great items to help with the battle against breast cancer awareness, which is going on here tonight. A lot of the players wearing pink as part of their uniforms.
Reminder, next Friday night, more high school football as we begin the 48th annual Indiana High School Athletic Association State Tournament with the New Prairie Cougars giving Elkhart all they want tonight. Going down to Plymouth and taking on John Barron and the Rockies. It's been a rough year down there. They have been sidelined with COVID for the last month, but they'll be excited to get back on the field. New Prairie and Plymouth, Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. We'll have it live for you on Facebook, YouTube, and the IHSAA Champions Network.
Well, some more discussion going on while they get ready to go. We can tell you that at St. Joseph High School, they're building family. Every student receives a laptop to remain connected to the curriculum and to each other. Small groups meet weekly to provide emotional support and connection. Students pursue faith, information, and our athletic programs foster teamwork, resilience, and a common bond. In person and online, we are a family. We're here for each other. We are St. Joe Strong. Visit stjoehigh.com. And our open house is scheduled for November 8th. Join our family today at St. Joseph High School.
So Marian with the ball gives it to Caleb Lusanga from the 17-yard line, and Lusanga is off to the races. This would be an 83-yard touchdown run for Marian. No flags. And the Marian Knights making big play after big play here in the second half. The rushing yards for Marian have to be through the roof tonight. Lusanga, the backup tailback, and I believe that is the third possession of the second half that has been a one-play drive for Marian.
Lusanga would need 11 more yards to be the third Marian player over 100 yards tonight.
Touchdown sponsored by Christensen Furniture. Alec Markley on to try the extra point, sponsored by Markley and Associates. It is up, and it is good, and it is 48-0 Marian on top of St. Joe, which means that the Knights have outscored their arch rivals over the last 2 years by a count of 89-0.
And oh, if you're feeling bad for St. Joe, don't. They'll be back. It's a very pride-oriented program at St. Joe, has been over the years. You know, Marian won the first 5 games of this matchup, and then St. Joe really took control and led the all-time series coming in tonight, 35-24. So Marian trying to move within 10 wins, and Father Bly getting a little nervous.
Oh, I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so either. But
miss seeing him around.
We certainly do. We wish him all the best. You know, Chuck, one of the things about this game tonight, during the course of the season, we've had games where one team would win the regular season game, the other team would win in the playoffs, but they're not in the same class anymore, so that won't happen. But that used to be a real, there was, I think, 4 or 5 years where one team won the regular season game, the other team won the sectional.
Really, right around that period of time, let's say between about 2008 to 2012, that was a golden time in the rivalry because it was a very competitive rivalry. Now Marian is taking control of this rivalry. They've won it 7 out of the last 8 years, and St. Joe has to do its best to get back to that level. Here's the kickoff, sponsored by Markley and Associates. It goes into the end zone for the touchback, and the Indians will start 1st and 10 from their own 20, and the clock will continue to tick.
By the way, the Marian series with St. Joe began in 1967, and Marian won the first 5 games under the direction of Bob Otalski, who the field here is named after. And Bob Otalski had been an assistant at South Bend St. Joe before moving over to Marian. So there's a St. Joe connection to almost every game in this series. And I tell you what, it's just been a fantastic series over the years. Look forward to it continuing. Great to be here for the Holy War.
So 1st and 10 from the 20 for Matt Eck and the St. Joe Indians. Play clock already down to 15. Eck not on the field yet, so Brian Whitton's going to call a timeout. He needs to get his offense around to talk things over.
Well, while they talk about it, we'll tell you that Tom's Car Care in South Bend offers complete car care, including a 10-minute oil change. Get your car or truck ready for cooler months. Call today at 574-289-2121. That's 574-289-2121. Tom's Car Care, proud supporter of high school sports, and they say go Indians.
That's also the home of the Coffee Spot Cafe. They are proud to tell you that they keep the oil and the coffee separate.
And both are hot.
Well, hopefully the oil's not too hot.
Right. That little red light comes on, go see Tom's.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 20. Looks like we've got a new quarterback in for the St. Joe Indians. It'll be Marvin Lopez at the controls, 5'8" sophomore. And so Lopez takes the snap from the shotgun. He'll fire a pass out in the flat, has Jacob Deal out there, and Deal lost the football on the sidelines, but he was out of bounds. They'll spot it right around the 29-yard line. So for Marvin Lopez, his first completion of the year.
Took a couple of mentions. We want to mention one of our new sponsors on board this week, Lather and Fade. They have 3 locations in South Bend, and we're also glad to have the electrical workers back with us as we're going to have our electrifying play, but tonight it might be hard to have one play. You'd almost need 3 or 4, but we'll have one for you at the end of the game.
So 2nd and 1 from the 29-yard line. Lopez with 3 receivers out to the left, but he'll hand it off up the middle, and that'll be a first down for St. Joe as the running back battling to the 34-yard line. We'll see if we can pick up who was carrying the football that time for the Indians, as that looks like it was Flynn Leonard, another sophomore, 5'7", 135-pounder. St. Joe, a team that's going to have to do some work in the weight room in the offseason. They were bullied here on this field tonight. And they're well aware that their roster is comprised of a lot of sophomores and freshmen. You're seeing a lot of them now here in the second unit. Lopez again fires out in the flat. That ball bounces away from the intended receiver. Looks like he was going for Zach Lanu out there. And so it'll be 2nd and 10. But remember, with the running clock, anytime in Indiana the score gets above a 35-point or more margin, the clock runs for the rest of the game.
Chuck just running down those numbers. Marian now with 399 yards rushing, unofficial, but close, and 89 yards passing, so almost 500 yards of offense tonight for the Marian Knights.
And now Joe Pontek on the carry that time for St. Joe. Pontek, another sophomore. I'm just looking at the St. Joe roster right now, Bob, and it's amazing how many freshmen and sophomores are on it. So you talk about the future for St. Joe, and obviously when Maddock graduates, they'll have to bring in a new quarterback. Maybe it's Lopez, maybe it's Zach's younger brother, but whichever one it is, they'll try to build an offense around them. And there are some names on this roster, the names you're hearing right now, you might be hearing for the next 3 years here for St. Joe. Lopez with another ball that's delivered nicely, and the catch is made. Keegan Frick with the grab takes it up to the 45-yard line. That'll move the chains with 4:58 and counting.
Marian's got some young players in there getting some snaps on defense, and they're playing a little bit soft because you just don't want to give up a big play. The starters are on the sideline saying, whatever you do, don't give up that goose egg. They've taken great pride in that defensively, and going into the game tonight, Michael Davidson got to be really happy with the way the defense is played.
The one thing about the running clock, though, is it does force you into a little bit of a hurry-up offense here if you're St. Joe and you want to keep this drive going. So Lopez will roll out, trying to get away from people, and finally corralled out of bounds as he gets knocked out there for a loss of 3.
Marian has some young talent in there, but they're still very fundamentally sound doing what the other guys did. Maybe not quite as quick or quite as strong, but still executing their defensive philosophy. And I tell you what, it's a tremendous treat to watch Michael Davidson work with his defensive team, and we got to give a shout out to his offensive coordinator, Chuck. He is almost left alone. As long as he's successful, he's going to be fine. Michael will take care of the defense.
Brett Badeck has done a fine job with this Marian offense over the last couple of years, and helps to have the talent that he's got at his disposal, no doubt. So here's a handoff up the middle, and a nice run that time. I think that might be Leonard again. And indeed, Flynn Leonard on the carry that time takes it up to the midfield stripe. And it'll be 3rd down and 5 to go from there with 3:23 to go in the contest.
Do you think St. Joe's in 4-down territory?
Well, you wonder. They have not gone for it on a 4th down yet tonight, but at this point, it's a little bit of what do you have to lose.
Yeah. Train left the station a little bit ago.
And here's the snap, and the pass by Lopez is batted down that time, coming up with a nice defensive play. I think that might be Chris Brianis, 5'11", 207-pound freshman. There's not a 72 on the roster, but there is a 73.
Ooh, nice job.
And Rob Berger will be looking for deflections like that come basketball season here at Marian.
Yeah, they always say if you can't get penetration, get elevation.
So you called for them to go on 4th down, and indeed they do here, Bob. Snap is given. Lopez hands it off. Flynn Leonard got the 1st down. In the Marian territory, takes it all the way down to the 41-yard line with 2:16 to go.
Backups have had more 1st downs in this drive already than the entire team had going into this possession. So, again, there's a lot of new players in there. And, man, I tell you, Asante Anglin is a quality running back. Just couldn't find that big hole tonight. Had a bunch of negative carries, and they did pass the ball, good completion percentage, but still well under 100 yards passing.
Lopez wants to throw, flings it out there, has his man. That's Keegan Frick. Takes it inside the 35 to the 33-yard line with under 100 seconds to play in this one.
Lopez has done a nice job. He's passed for over 30 yards in this drive.
St. Joe sprinting up to the line of scrimmage, trying to get in as many plays as they can here with the second unit. But here's the delivery, and Lopez another strike to Frick, and Frick takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line with 1:13 to go. Well, the Marian Knights will win the big division title, the title that the larger enrollment schools are in, and yet Marian, a 3A school, they'll get a share of it, and maybe the whole thing if Elkhart loses at New Prairie tonight. Last we checked on that game, the Lions were leading 7-0. Low snap to Lopez. He wants to go for the end zone. The ball is incomplete. And remember, the clock does not stop with the incomplete pass.
And they'll be hustling back to the line of scrimmage. Wouldn't those young guys love to get a chance to get in the end zone against the Marian Knights tonight?
Well, and erase the goose egg that is up there right now.
And you can't throw the ball on the ground and stop the clock. You
Nope.
got to keep running.
Lopez gonna heave it for the end zone again. He's got a man out there, but he overthrew him. And now can St. Joe get up to the line of scrimmage and run one more play here? That is the only drama left in this one.
Got a couple of players that got downfield trying to hustle back to the line of scrimmage.
They got the play off. Lopez will scramble. And he is going to try to run to the end zone. It won't happen. And Marian gets the shutout of St. Joe as the Knights win this one by a final score of 48-0. So stick around. We've got a lot to cover in our post-game show, including our electrical workers local 153 electrifying play of the game. It comes your way next on the 46 Game of the Week.
All right, whenever you guys are ready, I got Maddox over here. All right, whenever you guys are ready. 3, 2, 1. Standing by with our player of the game, Maddox Begonia Bright. First off, Maddox, heck of a game out there tonight. 2 touchdown rushings, 2 passing, the Holy War. Talk about this victory.
It feels great because we had 2 weeks off, so first game back, it's nice to get a 48-0 win, especially against your rivals. But we still got other goals. We still got playoff hopes. So this is good going into that.
Talk about that 2 weeks off. Just getting back into it tonight. Was it tough getting back into it? Some of the penalties early, just conditioning, stuff like that.
Yeah, the first half we started out a little bit slow. We scored on 3 of our first 4 possessions, but it was sloppy. It's not how we got to play. Second half we came out, we got our stuff together, and we put up more points.
I know it's a little ways away, but last year's semi-state game, I know you guys got your eyes set on that. I know next week's playoff game, start of it, just thoughts on moving forward.
You got to take one game at a time, but you can never get satisfied with that last win because there's always something greater out there.
48-0. I don't know if you know this, that's the biggest margin of victory between Marian and St. Joe ever. Just thoughts on that.
Don't talk if you're not ready for it.
Player of our game, Maddox Begonia Bright. Back to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV-46 High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by
The 60th renewal of Michiana's Great Catholic Rivalry goes all Marian tonight as the Knights are celebrating here on senior night after a 48-0 win over the St. Joe Indians. Chuck Freeby and Bob Nagel high above the fray. Marian is what they claim to be, the number 2 team in the state, looking very impressive.
Well, and as Mike Davidson thought going in, it might take a little bit of time to knock off some rust. The first drive did not result in any points, and we were scoreless after 1 quarter, and it looked like that would really give St. Joe some momentum. But Marian's defense was really powerful tonight. They held them to 3 first downs when it mattered. And the offense, can score from 40, 50, 60, 70, even 85 yards out. So really tough to stop. And once Marian built the big lead, I think it was just really tough for St. Joe to hang in there.
And the guy that was at the controls of that offense tonight, as he's been all season long, is our IUSB player of the game, and he's standing by now with Bo Hunt.
Standing by with our player of the game, Maddox Begonia Bright. First off, Maddox, heck of a game out there tonight. 2 touchdown rushings, 2 passing, the Holy War. Talk about this victory.
It feels great because we had 2 weeks off, so first game back, it's nice to get a 48-0 win, especially against your rivals. But we still got other goals. We still got playoff hopes. So this is good going into that.
Talk about that 2 weeks off, just getting back into it tonight. Was it tough getting back into it? Some of the penalties early, just conditioning, stuff like that?
Yeah, the first half we started out a little bit slow. We scored on 3 of our first 4 possessions, but it was sloppy. It's not how we got to play. Second half we came out, we got our stuff together, and we put up more points.
I know it's a little ways away, but last year's semi-state game, I know you guys got your eyes set on that. I know next week's playoff game, start of it, just thoughts on moving forward.
You got to take one game at a time, but you can never get satisfied with that last win because there's always something greater out there.
48-0. I don't know if you know this, that's the biggest margin of victory between Marian and St. Joe ever. Just thoughts on that.
Don't talk if you're not ready for it.
Player of our game, Maddox Begonia Bright. Back to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, fellas, and we appreciate Maddox taking some time with us tonight. But why wouldn't he? Because he's also going to get a little love here from our electrical workers, Local 153, electrifying play of the game. Happened in the second quarter, Bob, an elusive run.
Just one of many on the night, but he's just so strong. You saw Anderson going up the middle there, and then Bright gets around in the end and got into the end zone for the touchdown. It did it a couple of times in the ball game tonight and threw for 2 touchdowns. So very, very prolific night for that young man.
Angelo DiCarlo getting some airtime. Well, you know, we stole his interview away from him, so we'll give him a little glimmer on TV.
That's right.
And for the Marian Knights, they are now undefeated for the first time since 1999 in the regular season. They get a share of the NIC divisional title. They'll get ready for Lakeland next week. St. Joe needs to put this behind it, get ready for Clay in the first round of the tournament.
Tournament time is here, and just blessed to be able to have played this season as much as we have and been able to bring you a lot of the great games in our area.
And hopefully a few more weeks down the line. Our thanks to our TV-46 crew who helped bring you this one, led by our crazy producer, Mr. Dean Corsmo, and the usual cast of characters, Tony Beltran. No flat tires this week on his way to the event. That's good. And we remind you that we have high school football next Friday night as we begin the 48th annual IHSA tournament. We'll be down at the Rock Pile in Plymouth as New Prairie and Plymouth collide in the Class 4A Sectional 18. We'll have it for you on Facebook, YouTube, and the Champions Network at 6:45, and on TV-46 Friday night at 11, Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget, follow us on social media at 46 Sports on Twitter. Now, for my broadcast partners, they're Hall of Famers, you know, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt. It's Chuck Freeby. Once again, the final. Marian 48, St. Joe nothing. So long from the Princess City.